Mr. Mack here. Okay, so 1 week down into this fall 2020 semester, and yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it sucks. But it is what it is. We'll get through it. Now, had 1 week, and I had a lot of good questions from students, especially given the situation, given the circumstance, and but one really sticks out. So one of my students said, "Mr. Mack, why don't we learn about this in more? Why don't we learn about a lot of stuff in school? I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happens in history." And that actually made me smile because that is an excellent question. Why is so much missing from history classes in school? Well, there's actually a lot of different reasons. First of all, there are certain standards that have to be taught depending on what state you're in, what district you're in, what school building you teach at. There's a lot, and we have to, as teachers, adhere to those standards. Now, and they can vary. Sometimes each state has their own different standards. Some are more broad and allow a lot more flexibility. Others don't and are a lot more strict. And then the district can take those state standards and do what they will within what's allowed. So, and even then, still, some schools have a very strict prescribed curriculum that they have to adhere to. So the teachers actually have to go by a very, very prescribed curriculum. So that means everything's planned out. The lessons, what's done, everything, even the activities. That can really limit a teacher's flexibility. Whether it's good or bad, it does. And now, really, but one of the biggest reasons why we miss stuff is because of time. There's just not enough time. Now, my student who asked this question, she actually said, "Well, look at we're here for 8 hours. We're in the same room for 8 hours." And I went, "Yes, for 8 hours, 2 days a week because we're on a hybrid model, and you have 6 other classes that you have to work on. So, again, very, very limited time. History, there's a lot that's happened in history, a whole lot. So, we just can't get to everything. So, then that's why one of the biggest reasons why I like to get to know my students. Okay, well, one of the biggest reasons is we as teachers we got to get to know you got students. If you're a student watching this, and if you're a teacher watching this, you understand that yeah, we have to get to know our students, not only to help motivate them, but really just to help them get comfortable, so they get to know us, we get to know them. That's just a part of it. And but another reason is, and it's a big one, so we can actually figure out how to relate what we're discussing and to our students. Because if you can relate to something, you're more likely to actually buy in and engage. So, in getting to know our students, that's when we can actually start to incorporate things and, and build upon what's happening in the student's life, what their interests are, all of the above. Which again, does cause for some stuff to be left out. It's not that we want to leave things out. Trust me, any history teacher will tell you, if they had the time, they will talk to you about everything. So it's not that we don't want to talk about it, it's that we just don't have the time. And we have certain standards that we have to adhere to. But if you're a student watching this and there is something that you want to learn more about, I encourage you to talk to your teacher about it. Say, hey, look, Mr. or Miss so-and-so, please, can we talk more about this? Now, if they have the flexibility, hopefully they'll be willing to get more in depth into that subject. If they don't, then hopefully they can help you get to certain resources that will help you learn more. And then you can actually scratch that itch of wanting to know more about something, whatever it may be. It doesn't matter. If you were curious about it, then go for it. I had one of my students want to know more about the civil rights movement. We had a whole unit on it. Well, guess what? We can teach a whole class on the civil rights movement because it's so involved. So they wanted to learn more about other groups, not just African Americans, and I shouldn't say just because it's very important, but not just the African American movement. They wanted to know more about it. They wanted to know more about different people that you don't often hear about in the African American civil rights movement, but they also wanted to hear about what happened in the Southwest with the grape and lettuce strikes, with various Native American movements and claiming different land. Alcatraz, for example, they wanted to just know more about all of it. I would love to talk about that. There's just not the time. So we're forced to, as teachers, pick and choose what we can best relate to our students, or what best fits what they're interested in. And unfortunately, we can't actually get all of it. A lot of stuff gets left out. So that's why you don't always learn about certain things. It's not that we don't want to talk about it. It's just that we're just not able to always do it. But again, I encourage you, teachers, listen to your students. If you can, if you have some flexibility, change some things and include what your students are interested in or what can relate to them. Students, ask your teachers. Ask those questions. Please ask. We love hearing questions. That's why we're here. It's kind of part of the job, like I talked about in another video. So, anyways, that's all I have for today. So here's to going into week 2 of this wonderful semester. Have a good one.